Hello and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people doing incredible things. Hi, I'm Inigo Montoya. You're watching this podcast, prepare to enjoy. And I am joined by my co host, La Comtesse de l'Ancre. And if you get all of those references, you're cool. You can stay.
That's right. That's right. You can stay. Um, I I didn't realize that you knew my weekday name.
I have my ways.
It's the wings. They gave me away, right?
Uh, Always the wings, and we will teach you to fly. How's your week been, Emily?
By yeeting me off a cliff. I, lemming style. My week's been interesting. Let's see. I was able to do some art this week, which is really amazing. Mostly photography. I got out with
Ooh,
my camera. It was great.
ooh, that's
Hooray.
nice.
Yeah, so I haven't released all the pictures yet, but you know, I'm getting there. How about you?
Good. I do want to comment. I've really enjoyed the photo series that you've done of Kevin, the little frog in your backyard. Makes me very happy every time you can snag a pic of Kevin.
I'll tell you a secret about Kevin.
Okay.
Oh, Josh said garden gatekeeper Kevin. That is correct. Kevin is the garden gatekeeper. He lives on the fava bean plants next
Ooh.
to the corn. And it's kind of between the corn and the spinach, which someone's going to come at me about how you shouldn't plant these things so close together, but whatever. And he's like 3/4 of an inch, maybe.
Mhm.
And so I took a picture of him. And it's hard to tell in the picture how small he actually is. But I see him out sunning himself when the sun is out. And uh, he, he's like not scared of me. He'll like just sit there and let me take pictures, which is wonderful. But I sent these pictures to my sister, who is a frog nut, like obsession,
Mhm.
like I've never seen in a person. My sister and frogs are like the same thing. Anyway, so I sent it to her and she goes, "Oh, he's so small. You should name him Kevin." And I was like, "Okay, why?" Because of Kevin Hart.
That that is delightful.
And yeah. So Kevin, he is, and I'm sure he's hilarious too.
I love this. I
Thank
can't
you.
now. I can. I will not get that out of my head.
I didn't even think to tell that story. At least not on the but here we are. Anyway, thank you for
You're
your
welcome.
compliment. The series I have tentatively named it The Quiet Wild.
Ooh,
And hopefully I will like put them all together at some point. But for now, one picture at a time, one Kevin moment at a time.
I love it.
Anyway, so your week.
Yeah, honestly, not a lot to report. Gearing up, there is an audition coming up on Sunday for Murder on the Orient Express. It's not a show that I typically would audition for, but I'm actually really excited for this.
It's because of
Um,
murder, right?
Murder.
Murder.
That is an inside joke that we won't explain on the podcast right now. Uh,
We both just went there too. I can't believe it.
we will get to that.
It's a mid-Atlantic accent where you're saying murder. Murder. Anyway, there. That was a short explanation. Please go ahead.
So I'm really hoping for one of two roles. It's going to be a really great cast, really great directors at a theater that I've worked with before. So very excited about that. So
Yeah.
my week has mostly been preparation for that.
So, just out of curiosity, because, and I've been in theater before, but I feel like I either forgot this or I'm not bringing it to mind. When someone goes on and you wish them well, you don't say good luck, you say break a leg. But if I
Mhm.
want you to get a part,
Mhm.
what do I say?
Um, I think it's still like break a leg, like with the
Is it?
audition. There
Like
are
break a hip.
don't hurt your sciatica. There's there are so many different expressions that you could use. There's the Italian toi toi toi, where it's like you're literally spitting on the feet of the person as they walk forward. It's a sign of good luck.
Wow.
There's I
No
am gonna
universal
sing this wrong.
precautions here. Just spitting on people. I'm
There
sorry.
is the in bocca al lupo, which is like in the mouth of the wolf, and so you're in a very dangerous place, but it's also one of the most like beneficial places to be because you're somewhere between like fear and also a little bit of adrenaline. So that it can
Okay.
make the performance much better. Um, so tons of things that you could say to somebody from across the world. But I think here in the States, we would probably say,
Check your mic for me real quick.
check, 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 check,
Okay.
check.
It was getting weird and muffled for a second.
Okay. I'm
We're
sorry.
good. We're good. It's good now.
Cool. But yeah, so mostly just preparation for that. But thank you for the broken legs. I will use them well.
I wish you all of the appropriate broken bones for this play.
Thank you.
The none of the inappropriate ones, only the ones that will actually get you this part. I don't know what's going on here. There. Okay.
Well, you know who probably doesn't have broken bones, but has lots of great stories to tell about maybe things that have been broken is our guest today. Would you introduce our fantastic guest?
I would love to. I would. I well, you know, the glass is my thing, one of my art forms, but I do glass fusion, and I haven't really like come out and been really open about that. I just, because I that's a I don't know if it's a private thing. It's not. I just haven't been really out there with it. I show my photography instead. And so I have this passion for glass. And so when I go to these places such as the Edina Art Fair, I get to meet all the cool glass people. And I met Jenn Justad. And she was amazing. And so I asked her to come be on the show. And here she is. Welcome to the show, Jen.
Ah, thank
Yay!
you. Excited to be here.
I'm so excited. This is great. Thank you for saying yes.
Oh yeah, and thanks for your patience through like a crazy art fair season because it was
Oh,
just,
yeah.
oh my gosh, so many things.
Is that over now or is that still going?
It's tapered off. Like I had one this past weekend, but then I've got two more in October, and then like a break before a couple holiday sales. But then it'll be breathing room after
Wow.
that.
So do you find yourself like creating all winter so that you're prepped and have inventory for the season? Is that how
Yeah,
that works? Okay.
yeah, definitely, and especially when it's not 120 degrees in the studio. So try to get that done in the cold months of
Yeah.
Minnesota weather. So usually between like January and May is when I'm
Okay.
really in there just cranking out work so that when I do hit busy art fair season, it's not this game of catch up the entire time.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm a little curious, but how do you prep for working in the glass studio in the winter months? Because if it's super cold outside and then you are super warm on the inside, how do you prep?
Um, like my outfits
Yeah.
or like, oh,
Her fashion.
I
What's your
was like, my
fashion?
fashion. Okay. Well, I hate the cold. Like, I hate it. It just,
Oh.
You're
oh,
in the
God.
right state for that.
Yeah, best state, really. Everything else about Minnesota, love. Weather, the cold weather, not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
However, just lots of layers. And I usually bring like a change of clothes too. Um, although our studio has some good like airflow. And so I can, um, like, I sometimes will glass in sweatpants because I'm like, oh, it's really not that bad in here because it's 10 degrees outside and it's a balmy 70 inside or 60
Okay.
inside. So then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, just boots, normal. Usually keep a
Okay.
change of clothes at the studio. But my body loves the heat, like loves, loves, loves the heat. So always happy to be in there in the winter.
Sure. Do you
Summertime's
keep
a different story. That's like I got to bring a change of clothes and there's a shower at the studio. And so it's, I call summer the months of many showers because it's just like, it's disgusting after being in there for even a few hours. So
Sure.
that's a trickier one.
Yeah, I think I might be the opposite there. I
Yeah.
don't love the hot heat. That is one thing that worried me about. Like with glass fusion, I can throw it in a kiln. I can set the kiln. It can go. I can leave.
Yep.
And I don't get to experience all the heat that happens.
Yep.
But you get a lot closer to it than that. Does
Oh
it
yeah.
like I have been around glass blowing but not as close as you have. I've never done it. So does it I mean obviously you have hot molten glass that's I mean what 1500 degrees or more.
Usually 2000.
Two
Yeah, about
yeah.
2000. 1500 is kind of getting into cold territory for us.
Okay. So
Relative
it's
term.
it's glowing.
Yes.
And that's got to heat up a room nicely, or at
Oh
least
yeah.
like you don't want that to touch you.
No, no. I mean, but your brain is really good at telling your body to be like, that's glowing. Maybe don't touch that. Maybe leave that alone.
Yeah.
So it's not typically, if you get burned, it's not usually on like the glass itself. It's typically on like a metal tool that has touched the glass and is
Oh,
still
okay.
retaining heat, but doesn't glow. And so you
Sure.
grab it by accident, or there's a very typical, I actually have it on my forum from the state fair, um, typical like burn where you get with the blades of the jacks, which are like these long tweezer looking things,
Yeah.
and you can flip it around and use the other end, and those hot blades can touch your forearm, and you're like, oh, okay, that's fun. But that's a pretty common one if you get burned at all. But you usually only make those mistakes once, and then you forget about them, or you don't make them for quite a while.
Right. Like that's
Yeah,
we
doesn't happen
learn
every
from our
week.
mistakes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I used to have a tailor that worked in a shop that I was in, and he said, "You're really not a true tailor until you like sew your finger through like one of the
yeah,
sewing needles."
Hmm.
So I
yeah,
feel like that's it just comes with the territory. It's a sign that you are a true glass blower.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, and only do it once. Like, really, only do it once, and then maybe
It's
find a
like
different hobby if like you continue to do it. Maybe that's
just
not the hot shop might not be the place for you. Ugh. But yeah, it happens, but it doesn't happen as much as people think. I think
okay.
that's one of
Good.
the biggest questions we get asked is like, do you get burned? And we kind of joke like, yeah, all the time, but it's these tiny little, like ash. If you were by a bonfire or something, and a little bit of paper came out and just kind of landed on you, you just brush it off. You just keep going. The big ones don't happen very often. It's just you have to really not be in the moment.
Right. I guess I equate that to like in glass fusion, there are people that want to like take a class with me or something, and they're like, I'm just scared to get cut. Don't you get cut all the time? And it's like, yeah, but I'm not really bleeding. Like it happens, and it does happen often enough that but it's not like severe.
Yeah,
It's not enough for me to sometimes even put like a band-aid on it or something. Like it's
yeah,
just like some
exactly.
paper cuts are worse.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like
So
I burned my thumb worse in the oven earlier this week.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
No.
Like
that
how often are people burning themselves cooking if they cook all the time? You just get used to not doing that.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
And you feel confident in the kitchen, like I've been in a kitchen my whole life. This is fine. And no, you just don't put your thumb on the oven rack. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use this analogy in my next class.
There you go.
This is
Yeah,
good because people ask that all the time, and the new people that come take the class are like so scared to cut glass for that reason, and I think I can maybe help them get past it with
yeah.
with
Like,
that.
are you afraid of a paper cut? You open mail all the time, and
Yeah, you
that's when
didn't
people
stop
get
opening mail. Right.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, no, no, those big severe ones just don't happen. So you're
No.
smarter than you think. Your body is smarter than you think it is. It's trying to keep you alive. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, with those, speaking of like molten glass, I feel like it starts out quite a bit as this like amorphous shape to it, but it was also an amorphous shape that really got you interested in blowing glass. And I'm curious if you would not mind sharing the story of how you got into glass blowing.
Oh my gosh. So I was in college and I was starting to work with my hands with doing jewelry and like just metal smithing. Just I liked working with my hands. And my painting professor, so not related, but painting professor was like, "Hey, there's this summer camp up north. You get 2 art credits." And I thought, "Cool. I really hate your class. Like, why would I pay extra money to like go and spend an extra week up there?" And he goes, "Oh, no." I didn't tell him that, but I was like, "Oh, think about
Yeah.
it." He goes, "Well, there's other stuff up there. There's not mine. There's textiles. There's glass blowing." And I went, "Oh, that would be so cool. Okay, let's try glass blowing." And I was the only one in this class of I think like 9 people who had never been in a hot shop before. And
Oh.
so we sit down to dinner right before like the very first night, and the instructor's like, "All right, so we got new elements of the annealers, we got new punties, I've straightened the blowpipes, you're gonna sign up for your blow slots in the morning, and then we've got a new color box." And I was like, "What words just came out of your mouth?" Like none of
Right?
that made sense. Um, and but everybody was really nice because they had been in that. It's Pigeon Lake is the name of the field station camp area. They had been there before, and so um, just I had kind of a slew of teachers, not just the lead instructor, like all of these other people who had worked with glass, and it was so hard. It was so hard, and I loved every minute of it. And I'm very much like a hobbyist and a perfectionist that wants to be good at something yesterday. And so the fact that I was okay with this incredibly challenging medium was like, oh, okay, I think I should keep this in my life. Um, and we didn't have a glass program at our school, so I was able to get an undergraduate research grant through my school and go down to Chicago, which was the closest
Oh yeah.
public studio. And I worked with an artist. She's still in Chicago, Pearl Dick, and I worked with her like once every few months. She was incredible and taught me a little bit more. And then I went back up to that summer camp the following year. And that year, the instructor was one of the guys that helped found Foci, the place that I currently run time at and have been with since 2009. And so after graduation, just came back up to the Twin Cities and walked in and said, "I have no social life and no friends. Who wants to teach me how to blow glass?" And I stumbled into it and kind of learned the old-fashioned way in that regard, just like bartering
Awesome.
time. And I would help kind of an established glass blower for a few hours, and then they would teach me for an hour, and kind of had this trade setup going. So
That's one thing I see with the glass blowing. Like I see videos and things like that, and there's very often more than one person there
mm,
to they're assisting or they're grabbing tools or grabbing different things to help or whatever. And I wondered if that was like, is it even a thing to do glass blowing all by yourself?
Oh yeah, I do it a lot actually by
Okay.
myself. Yeah, it just depends on what you're making and well how experienced you are too. I mean, when you're first starting out, you want somebody holding your hand the entire time because you're like,
Sure.
I don't, what step comes next? I don't even know. And trying to remember where your tools are, and oh my gosh, I need you to go get a paddle over there. But then as you practice more, you find, oh, I can do paperweights by myself, and oh, well, maybe I could do ornaments by myself, and but just like anything, if you practice it, you'll get good at it. And if you don't practice working on your own, then you never get that set of skills because it
Sure.
is a different set of skills. And COVID actually was like a big reason for me to learn how to work by myself because
Yeah.
I couldn't have an assistant. My husband helped me for a while too because he doesn't blow glass, but he's good at turning a pipe. So he could roll the pipe on the bench for me while I like had to go do something else. So he would help me, and then I just practiced working by myself, and so I can do most of the cups I make by myself. I can do different color applications by myself, and I can just zone out, which is nice. A lot of times when I have or when I'm working with somebody, we like to chat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that studio rental fee just got real more expensive because I'm not focused, and so
Oh, I see.
I
Sure.
work much better for certain things on my own. But yeah.
That makes sense. Sure.
And then again, what you're making too, right? Like there's just stuff you just can't do by yourself. There's just too many literal moving parts. Like you need a team. Um,
Yeah, maybe those are the videos I've seen where somebody's like literally putting together, literally, that's not the right word, but putting together like this sculpture of a fish or something, and it takes one person to hold the body of a fish, another person's bringing like a fin over and attaching it, and another person's like doing something over here, and it just looked like kind of more of a team effort to me.
totally. Yeah.
So,
And those big scale things, yeah, you
yeah.
need a team. And there's a couple people out there who can do some of the most impressive solo work that I've ever seen. I mean, there's this guy who works at Corning, New York, named Bill Gutenrath, and he makes these Venetian style goblets all on his own, and it's
Wow.
incredible. And I can't blow a nice goblet to save my life because I just don't practice them. I think they're so hard. Um, but he just does this thing, and you would look at him and he's like shorter than I am, and he kind of looks like my grandpa did, and he's just like, hey, I'm just this nice approachable guy, and he likes ice cream, and then he's like, oh, and you're just this incredible glass blower. Like that was what he dedicated his practice to, was practicing these old Venetian techniques and how they did them, how did they make it efficient, because it was so functional back then. You had to be quick, you had to be efficient, otherwise you didn't make money.
Yeah.
So it's incredible to watch him work. So maybe
You
one day
said
I'll get that good.
you said something that was so valuable though, and that was I'm not good at it because I haven't practiced. And it wasn't because I can't, it wasn't because of all the other reasons people give. It was just because you haven't practiced, and I love that. That's a great outlook to have on any art.
Oh my gosh, for real. I mean, there's one of the very first things I remember learning in glass blowing. There's two glass blowing like phrases I like to whip out. One is it's not what you can make, it's what you can. It's not what you can make, it's what you can save. So if something goes awry, like how do we flow with it? How do we make it
Mm-hmm.
into something different? Because that happens more often than we'd like to admit. And then the second is if you can't make it big, make it blue. So for glass blowers,
What does that mean?
because blue glass is impressive. Everybody loves blue glass. So
Oh,
if you can't,
okay.
No.
if you can't make something big and impressive, make it blue. Then it'll still be impressive.
I
So
see.
any glass blower that hears that will be like, oh yeah, If you can't make it big, make it blue. So then everybody loves it. So
They do. That's so true.
I like the saving part of it because it makes me think of food a little bit. Shocker,
oh,
I love food.
yeah.
But like anything can be pretty much saved with like a really good sauce. If you
Hmm.
make a really solid sauce over top of maybe some slightly burnt chicken, it's probably going to be incredible.
Yeah, yeah, or at the very least edible. And sometimes that's all you want. It's just
Yeah.
edible.
I want to see if Josh is going to weigh in on this.
I was hoping he was.
Josh
Josh
Cook.
is, yeah, he's our culinary arts guy.
There
If
we
he's
go.
listening, maybe we'll see him in the chat or he'll pop on here for a second. But yeah, I feel like I've done that too. Or yeah, you just make the sauce better or
Yeah.
make more sauce or
Yeah.
whatever. That's right.
Yeah.
Blue, though, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that, but you're right. The things that I've made that people seem to be drawn to are more
Blue.
blue.
Blue glass. It's
Hmm.
classic. Um,
He
yeah.
said,
So
he said, I mean, there are ways to save burned chicken or whatever. Save a burned chicken.
That's also fair.
yeah.
Um, well, Jen, talking about your art specifically, I was really impressed about the way that you describe your art in several of the interviews that you've done. And the line that got me the most was going to be, I want my art to be used as much as possible, not sitting on a shelf. And I want it to be approachable, not too delicate, but not clunky either. And it
Mm,
really feels like you are trying to strike a balance between form, like between art and function.
mm.
Um, how do you continue to strike that balance and keep it approachable for like the consuming audience?
Um, I mean, the most obvious thing that comes to my brain says the price. I hate saying that. I sound like too much like a business person. I don't like that. But I do try to price it in a way that also isn't intimidating.
Mhm.
Because glass breaks. I get it. And if you're using it as much as I would want you to use it, it might break more frequently. And I don't want you to be hesitant to buy something else or suggest it to something else, somebody else. So that's one way that I, yeah, try to make it a little more approachable. Um, but also just shapes in general. I think combine um, that art versus with the functional, like how does it sit in your hand? How does it look when you have a beverage in it? Or like if you garnish it with something. I like to do drinkware just because we need to drink liquids. That's just we have to do that
Yeah.
to survive, And so, how can I make this thing that you have to do every day just a little more whimsical or happy or smile-inducing or whatnot? And that touch, that like sense of touch, and how does something fit in your hand? Um, I think that's a big one for me. Is like trying to find new shapes and new textures and new colors. And um, I'm one of those weirdos that'll like go into like a vintage store and be like, "Ooh, I love this shape," and I'll just like I don't know, pick it up and be like, "Ooh, take a picture of this. Let's try this shape." And so, how does it sit in your hand? How do things feel? And that's what I tell people when they come into my booth. Is like just pick stuff up. Like I've got signs everywhere that says, "Please pick stuff up." Like I want you to hold it. I want it to
Yes, you
sit in
do.
your hand well. So I think that's a big part of it. Maybe that answered your question.
Yeah, no, well, it's that you wanted to have. you want people to be invited into the conversation, and you want it to be part of their lives. You don't just want it to, like you said, be there on a shelf and just be, it's art. You want it to be a part of their daily interaction in life.
There's nothing wrong with those larger kind of statement pieces. I have a couple myself, and there's some too. Like I make pumpkins, and I don't expect them to put them out on their, doorsteps for trick or treaters or anything like that. But, um, yeah, having it maybe moved, like, oh, it goes here for Halloween time, or then it gets put in here for Thanksgiving, or where they're not afraid to have it be part of their daily routine, whatever that looks like. Um, yeah, no shade on people that make statement pieces. That's totally fine. That's also just not how I roll. But
Right.
that's also not what like I said before, it's not what I practice. I don't practice making large work. I don't find it as maybe fulfilling as making the small stuff, more delicate things.
Right. Your signage to saying to feel free to touch things and to pick them up was something that was kind of refreshing. There's, we all know glass breaks. We all know it's can be delicate, and that generally you don't want to. We're raised to not touch. We're raised to just see with our eyes. That's not what I meant to say, but that's what came out. We're raised to just look and not touch. And I thought that your approach was different, but refreshing. And when we see something beautiful like that, there's something about it, for some of us anyway, want to touch it
Oh
because
my gosh.
like I want this to be part of me somehow. So I want to be close to it that way. And especially if it has a texture or sometimes just the smoothness of it is what is, there's like that tactile experience to some degree too. And I think I found that to be amazing because we've all been to places where there's like a shopkeeper who's like they're a little uptight about, and uptight might not be the right word because I understand they want to protect their investment, but they don't, they get tense when you maybe touch, and you're the opposite. And I thought that was amazing.
Well, I mean, I tell people like I break more glass than anybody. I do. Like, I just can't be stressed about that. And the entity that has broken more glass than, or in a booth setting, is the wind, and I can't charge the wind. So why worry if one person breaks something? I don't think I've had one person break something in the 4 years I've been doing shows.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Wow.
and it was like, I think it just slipped out of their hands. I don't even know. And it wasn't a child. Everyone thinks it's like a child or like someone with a big backpack or like a dog. And I'm like, no, it was just someone had butterfingers, and I've got butterfingers. So like, it just happens. It's
It
fine.
does.
And also like I put dots on it. Like, come on, I want you to touch it. Jeez Louise. Like, it's just got texture all over it. So that's what I'll tell folks too. It's just like, yes, touch it. That's the whole point. That's fun. So
The other thing about your booth that I noticed is that you are not afraid of color.
no.
And that was also really cool. Everything about your presence at an art fair is colorful and definitely drew me in, even if it wasn't glass.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I love color, which is weird because my like wardrobe is typically a lot of grays and blacks, but then I'll have like, my bright pink glasses or like those giant colorful earrings or these accents like yeah, I've got like bright lime green shoes, and just
Yes.
yeah, oh, they're the best. Although my friend would fight me and say that they're actually like yellow, like highlighter yellow. It's a point of contention between the two of us. We're fighting. So but yeah, those are just, I love pops of color, and then my whole booth is just color.
Yes.
So I like when people come in. Like, the best is when people come and go, oh, this is so happy. I'm like, yay! That's exactly what I want you to say. Or cute. I'm okay with cute too.
Happy was the word I would describe it with, for sure.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
very happy.
I'm curious about when you say, like, when people come in and they're like, this place is so happy. When they look at your artwork, when people have that reaction to your work, Is that how you define success? Like you've done something successful? Or if not, how would you define like where you see your success?
Mm, yeah, like partly like base level success is when yeah, people just have that reaction and then they feel comfortable enough like saying it. Because I think sometimes, especially at art fairs, I'm learning to like they don't want to give a reaction because they think that it means that now they have to buy something if they engage with you. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I want you to tell me you like it. That's great. Like I know not everybody can afford everything, and that's fine. So yeah, if someone approaches my booth and feels comfortable enough to say, "Gosh, that made my day," and um, that's a very like kind of a starting point. But honestly, the best is when someone comes back, they don't buy anything, but they say, I bought something from you last year. I use it every day. It is my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
Oh,
glass. And I'm like, that's the best. Like I have my iced coffee in it every morning or I have my glass of wine at night and it's my special cup. It makes whatever, special thing no matter how big or small I was celebrating, it just makes it extra special. And that's my absolute favorite is when people say they use it every day because that's what I want. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I want. So, yeah.
absolutely. And
truly,
oh, go ahead, Trey.
just quickly, I love that. I love that you're allowing people to have that experience to come in and without an expectation to buy anything. It's allowing them the opportunity to have those emotions and to express them freely without any expectation therein. And to your point, that would also make me feel very comfortable with which to like start a dialogue and to ask you questions, and then it exposes this natural curiosity when you just allow a person to just be.
Yeah. Yeah. It just also it makes makes the time sitting in my booth go by a lot quicker when people actually engage with me. If it's a slow day, I'm like, please just ask me anything. Like I will talk to you about glass all day, please. Like, and I've got little um, examples of the different color applications I use, and just I love answering questions about it because I do get people that come in and are like, oh, is this etched or oh, is this painted? And I'm like, no, it's all glass color. What? Wow. How do you do that? And just talking to people about it and educating people on it. I used to teach a lot of glass blowing classes, and um, I love teaching. I love explaining things, and so when people start that dialogue with me, I warn them too. I was like, "Hey, you give me an inch, I will take a mile. Like I will talk your ear off about glass blowing. So just tell me when to stop." Um, but most of the time, they're very happy to hear the long answer versus the short
Hmm.
answer.
It's relatable.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Although not glass blowing, the glass itself. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I can talk shop forever.
Oh, it's great. And it's so fascinating. It's such a fascinating medium. Like we're
It
still
is.
figuring stuff out about it. And at the fair, foci where I blow glass, we have a presence at the Minnesota State Fair, and we do demonstrations out there. And um, surprising to nobody, I'm usually the one on the microphone because I like to talk. And I'm answering questions about like what's going on and what they're doing and all of that. And when I do get to answer people's questions, I don't care how many times I've been asked it because it's usually a lot of the same ones. It's still just so cool to see their faces go, "What? Really? No way!" And
Yep.
that's cool, demystifying it, so to speak.
Yep. And one thing that you said, like glass blowing is also a lot of science. And it's one of the art forms that, because art in general uses science to accomplish what it accomplishes, whether it's with pigments and chemistry and paint or with glass and temperature and things like annealing and things like that, where if we didn't know the science behind it, we wouldn't be able to create the art. And so there's some science behind it. And it's one of those things where I could deep dive the science. We can talk about that. We can talk about COE 96 versus COE whatever and all those things. And I try not to get too sciencey on the show because we're not a science show, but really that's such a big element to this type of art form.
Hmm.
And it's interesting how we should do a whole show, Trey, on the science behind art. We should get like a scientist on here to talk about all of those things.
I would
'Cause
love to, but I'm going to pull a Jen for a second. You said words to me, and they do not make sense.
I know. I know. Oh, we just lost her.
Oh no.
Oh no. We'll wait for her to come back. So I mentioned COE 96. COE stands for coefficient of expansion, and it has to do with in like a kiln situation or in a furnace, like what Jen uses. Glass will expand and contract with temperature, and so that the rate of expansion and contraction affects what glass can stick to what other glass when you're using it. So
Okay.
it stick without thermal shock. That's the key, because all glass gets melty and will stick. But when it cools down to room temperature, you need it to not shatter. So this coefficient of expansion is important to pay attention to, because there is compatible glass and incompatible glass. Like all glass will melt at a high enough temp. All glass does. I mean, we know that. But some glass needs a higher temp and some needs lower. And some is considered soft glass and some is not. There's glass bottle glass, which is different than window glass, and your windshield glass, and the glass you're drinking out of, and the glass she's blowing. So coefficient of expansion, knowing the rating, allows you to know if you can stick your blue glass to your clear glass to make something pretty.
Okay. I see that being applied somewhat. There's somebody that I follow used to follow on TikTok. I follow them now on Instagram. I cannot pronounce their name, but it's something like Trey something.
Okay.
They're a Scottish glass blower,
Okay.
glass artist, I should say, who does a lot of stuff, and they have been challenging themselves to make different pieces, and it's part of their like learning ladder journey. And they recently made some goblets, and I think we just got Jen back,
Yep,
so we'll wrap
she's
this up
back.
here.
Well,
Yay!
sorry, I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. Your video got like frozen for a minute and then you were gone.
Just totally gone. Yeah.
Totally
Anyway,
fine though.
It's all good.
sorry.
It's okay.
Technology's great when it works right.
Yeah.
Technology's great. But yeah, so Emily was giving me a crash course on the coefficient of expansion.
Look at you already knowing your acronyms.
Yeah.
Your COEs. Yeah.
He said, you just said words to me. And I was like, okay, let
Yeah.
me explain those. I just thought maybe we would do that while you were gone, because it was something I could take the time to explain and
Yeah, totally.
fill up the space a little.
Yeah.
So we were talking about science being such a big part of this, that we were talking about maybe having a show on the science of art and getting a scientist on here, which is not our usual guest because we talk art so much, but it would be cool to have somebody on who can talk. Like every artist can talk a little bit about the science behind what they do, because you have to know the science to do the art typically, whether you're mixing pigments or, blowing glass. So anyway.
That would be so cool. Yeah, there's so much science behind glass. I mean, that's part of my dialogue at the fair. And just like you said earlier, Trey, too, you're like, there was this amorphous thing, and, you fell in love with an amorphous medium. And actually, I was like, oh my gosh, does Trey know that glass is technically an amorphous solid? Like, what? Wow. That always blows people's mind.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret from my facilitation days. It's you learn something and you immediately use it and you pretend like you know about it.
Hey.
And nothing about it. But I'm happy that it was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, definitely like, oh, Trey knows his stuff. Okay.
Yeah, like someone once just told me when I was a kid, the glass is technically a liquid. And I was like, what? That sounds totally unbelievable. But it was used in reference to windows, like on a really old house where the windows were no longer smooth glass. They were like almost ripply, because it had, through time, had gotten like where gravity was actually somehow pulling it down itself.
Yep, that's actually false.
Yeah. Well, and I believed it at the time. I was like, oh,
totally.
Glass is a liquid. So I'm running around doing what Trey said, going, guess what, everyone? Glass is a liquid. And I'm like a 9-year-old. And
Well, now to be fair to this person that told you, and this is what I love glass so much is we're still figuring stuff out about it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't classified as an amorphous solid till like the last 15 years. So before it was considered a super cooled liquid. Like that was its scientific
Okay.
classification. And so like not wrong, that window thing is false. That's never been true. But yeah, it was considered a super cooled liquid and like I've got an old textbook that still calls it that cuz it's like a 20-year-old textbook.
Okay.
So that's a new development which is really cool. So yeah, not wrong, just now there's more information and that's also again why glass is fascinating is humans have been working with it for 5,000 years and we're still figuring out its properties and what it does and well, that's so cool.
It really is. It's in fact, recently I read an article. It was this spring about from I think it was Smithsonian maybe or a magazine like that put out this article about an archaeological dig they did of Pompeii, and they found a body that was so intact that its brain was still there. And they questioned what the brain was because it seemed like it was glass, and that seemed impossible that like were organic material and that could turn to glass. And they were like they tested it and they looked at it and they're like, no, it's glass. How did this person's brain? Yeah, we lost her. I thought that might happen again. How did this person's brain turn to glass in this volcano, the Pompeii volcano situation? And so they've been arguing that about how this is possible, but like it's undeniable that it's true. So how did we get here? And I thought that was fascinating too.
I might be misremembering, and I have not looked. This is new information, and I'm trying to connect it to something I know. But
Okay.
there was something kind of like that. I think with Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull. I feel like there was some sort of relation therein. It might not have been, but I don't know. My brain is trying to make those two things together.
Peter.
Jenna, because we were talking about glass and because we were talking about education, and you earlier had said that you are a bit of a perfectionist. Fun fact, so am I. I'm a recovering perfectionist. And sometimes when I'm learning something new, like a brand new craft or something like that, the thing of trial and error, I'm always shocked that it always includes a level of error. How do you keep your new students to class engaged? How do you keep them motivated when it's, some things don't turn out exactly the way they wanted to?
I think I say it's just glass. I say that a lot. So if something lands on the floor, something doesn't go well, it's like it's just glass. It's fine. Start over. Like because usually people get hung up on something and they'll overwork it. They'll try to fix it in a way that I'll see it and be like that is not fixable. And I'll just say it's just glass. Just start over. And if it's clear, you can recycle it in our furnace. So there's that level of like,
Yeah.
don't put any more energy into this. Just let it go. It'll get recycled. It's okay. So I think learning to let stuff go helps and not getting too attached to stuff. I think I say that quite a lot. I feel like that's a mantra I kind of pass on to students. It's just glass or hey, let's just take a step back. Let's go back to a foundational thing. If they're trying to make a bowl and it's like, let's just make a cup first. Let's just get kind of all those jitters and get your hands and your body into the studio mindset and then go for the harder thing. Just as a reminder that remember when you couldn't even make a paperweight? Now you're making a cup, no problem. I do aerial circus too. And so like lyra and silks and stuff, and we have a saying in there that like what was once hard will one day become your warm-up, and it's kind of the same with glass. Like what was once hard is now your warm-up. You make a paperweight to kind of just get yourself ready to go for the day, and but it used to be so difficult, and so I think that's really important to remember is like just how far you came. So
I'm writing this down. What was once hard will one day be your warm-up.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great perspective to have, not just on like glass, but as a general mantra. Is there ever a time that you find yourself in that same space of like overworking something, how do you remind yourself to it's just glass? Just, let's go back to something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could say I followed my own advice that much these days. um, but usually I'll like if I'm making something large and complicated and I'm working with somebody, I kind of just bounce off the idea like, "Hey, that's a nice shape, right?" And they'll be like, "Yep, good shape." I go, "Okay, we're not going to heat it again. Like we'll just call it there even if it's not exactly what I had in mind, but if it's still a functional shape, it's still a good shape. No one knows what it was going to be except for me, so why not just let it be what it wants to be?" Um, and so yeah, then I'll just stop working with it, let it go. Or if I'm in kind of a production mode by myself, if I'm just making the same cups over and over and I start to have more failures and it's like, let's just take a fiver and, drink some water, come on back, and then usually start with a different shape or a different product or whatever you want to call it, just to get kind of the one that's been bogging my brain, whatever it is that day, just out of
Yeah.
there. Start fresh.
Honestly, that's real. That's so real.
Yeah.
There have been times that I have been I have sewed two pieces of fabric together and be like, great. I go to like check my work. Expletive. I
Yeah,
seam rip,
right.
seam rip, seam rip, seam rip. Do it again. Do 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 do. Expletive. Seam rip,
Yeah.
seam rip, seam
Yeah. Yeah.
rip.
Totally.
Like, wow, it looked way better when it was like not on a body, but like, wow, there. Uh-oh.
You know,
Oh.
just like you said earlier, you just need to add sauce.
Yeah. In the
Yes,
form of many expletives. That's the sauce, right?
It's
that
saucy.
it is. There's also a video that Emily sent me of somebody quite literally eating barbecue and then sewing with
Oh yeah.
barbecue hands.
Oh
So
my
it's quite
I'll
gosh.
send it to
literally
you, Jen.
adding. It was
Whoa.
an abomination against sewing.
It was
Um,
because there was way too much sauce everywhere. Things that should not be.
Oh, I love that idea though. Oh my gosh.
It
That's like
was.
some mid 60s happening, like art, like modern art happening moments, like Yoko Ono, like I'm gonna sew this dress as I'm eating chicken
Oh
wings, and like
yeah.
that would have that would have been fun. I would have been there for that.
Maybe that's the art form, Trey. Maybe we need like a photo shoot of just saying.
just
Yeah.
add more sauce. That's
Add
the
more
title of
Just
that's
add
the
more
title.
yeah, when in doubt. That's right.
add more sauce.
It could be
Blowing
different.
glass with like, Alfredo sauce just like all over the tools. Like what is happening? I can't even turn this pipe. What's
It's
going on?
immediately burnt.
Immediately burned. Yeah. This has never happened before. I wonder what's different this time.
It's like those people that roast a marshmallow over the lava in
Oh
Hawaii
yeah.
or wherever. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay, now my brain is going with the different vignettes that this could all be. Okay. um, all right, so dish for us. This is a time to be not humble at all whatsoever. I'm super curious. What is your most favorite compliment that you have ever received about a piece of work that you've had?
Oh, um, I mean, it's besides the like, I use it every day because that is like, or people that come back to my booth over and over. There was one. Okay, I had one. I had a different one though. There was a girl. She couldn't have been older than 12. I mean, couldn't have been. And she comes up and she wants this paperweight. And uh, mom is like, well, that's like your allowance for like 2 months. And little girl goes, I don't care. I want it. And like, it was just this, like, she was just so drawn to it. And I mean, you know how much money is to you when you're that age. And to
Yeah.
just be like, this is so important to me. And it actually, now that I think about it too, there was a kid who couldn't have been out of college, fresh out of college. And same thing. I don't have a ton of money, but this makes me so happy. And I saw it and I can't stop thinking about it. And just that, like, those type of people who come into my booth and just are drawn to something so much that they make that extra purchase. And because art is a luxury, and, like, it is. I wish we could all just make art and collaborate and have those lovely things in our homes without having to worry about paying for how we live. But when people have this connection to it and say, that this is so important to me, that really touched me. Like, you could spend that money on a lot of different things, or a lot of different art for that matter, especially because I think this was at, like, the Stone Age Bridge Fest, and that one's huge. So many good artists, and the fact that, like, someone decided to spend their money on me if they're only making one purchase. Or I'll have a couple. I've had it happen a few times where people say, I never buy anything at these things, and they're buying a glass from me or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's always like, oh my gosh, really? So that means a lot. Because that makes me feel like, oh, good. I something that I make spoke to you.
Yeah.
Spoke to you enough to either break that habit of not buying anything, or maybe you aren't gonna, I don't know, go out to eat for a couple times so that you could get the fancy cup or whatever. Like, that's very flattering. So.
Yeah, when something you made with your own hands speaks to someone's soul enough where they want it in their life all the time, every day. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Which is why I have Emily's first glass fusion piece that she put up for sale.
Aw.
Oh yeah, that probably is true.
And actually, I have
It
it
probably
nearby.
is.
I will be right back. 1 second.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, it's not.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Like,
yes,
I
yes.
was such a beginner then too.
Oh, I don't care. It's one of my favorite things because you
Oh.
made it.
That's so nice.
I'll be right back.
That's so nice. It happened to me recently because there's a shop I have my glass in.
Yeah.
And it's there was a girl that came in recently, and I had put this piece in the shop thinking it was never going to sell, but I had reworked it a couple of times and was, like, just not happy with it. And I got it to a place where I was like, it's not ugly, but I'm done with it. And so I put it in there thinking, and then Josh made me mark it higher than I even wanted. And I was, like, not comfortable. And I was like, well, next quarter I'm going to pull it out of the shop and I'm not going to have it in there. And what, it wasn't moving, and that's okay. Like, I'll rework it again, or I'll figure it out. Or what did you say? We'll recycle it. And sure enough, it sold the other day. And this girl walked up to it and went, oh my gosh, I love this. I can't wait to give this to my mom. She's going to love it too. And I was like, what? Yeah. Anyway, let's see it, Trey.
See.
I haven't seen this in a while. Oh
yeah. Yes. So good.
It's
so lovely.
It's dots. Like, you like dots.
I love dots. And actually, it matches my shirt too.
It totally does.
Shirt,
flip it around, Trey.
Wait, hold on.
There you go.
Then it'll be like the perfect rainbow.
There you go.
Yes. Oh my
yeah, it's
gosh.
like a tray. It's a tray for Trey.
It is a tray for Trey.
Tray for Trey.
So for our listening only audience, it is a clear piece of glass that has been slightly curved and has little dots of various colors. Think in a almost like an ombre effect of the rainbow, transitioning from red to orange to a lighter orange to yellow, so on and so forth. So Emily had told me that there was this auction for the 510 Art Lab happening, and that anybody could go and bid on any of the pieces. And she admitted that she had a few pieces that she made, including one of her first glass fusion pieces. And I tried to, without her knowing, bid on this piece because
knowing. He didn't know I was running the auction too.
Yeah, there is also that. But yeah, so I bid on the piece, and much to my happiness, I wound up getting her first glass fusion piece.
Yay!
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now I have it sitting on an easel in my bedroom, and now I have a little piece of Emily. Nice little
Yeah.
It's a
chunk.
piece of my soul. That's right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And we
It's
love
like,
when like family members still like what we make, right?
right? Yes. It's like Sauron in the Ring. He put all of his malice and his only it wasn't malice. I didn't mean it like that.
So Trey, you have that in your house now. How do you
Yeah,
feel
that's
about that?
right. You feel dark and ominous?
I
Yeah.
do. Every time I look at it, I sing the Queen of the Night aria.
Oh.
Die Hölle wache, trotz meine Herzen. Um,
Then my job is done.
well, Jen, I have to say this hour with you has been incredible. You are an incredible human being, and I love your take on art. Um, I feel like when I get to Minnesota and am able to go and be able to go to one of these art festivals that you are in attendance with, I am going to have so many questions to ask you that I could not ask you here. So please expect a 2-hour conversation. I will
We're
ask
just
you
gonna
questions.
we're just gonna come to your booth and help you sell glass all day and talk
I'm
glass.
here. I'm here for it, please.
That would be so
Yeah.
fun.
Yep. Ready for all the questions.
Well, we do actually have 2 more questions for you before we wrap up tonight. The first one, we want to make sure that our listening audience can keep in touch with you and stay up to date with all the wonderful things that you're doing. Where can our listening audience stay up to date with you the best?
Instagram is definitely the best. So my Instagram is Justad Glass. So that's my last name, Justad Glass. And I do have a website that's the same, justadglass.com. But yeah, I'm not very tech savvy, so it's a little out of date. But I tend to post all the time on Instagram about like what shows I'll be at, what I'm making, that kind of stuff.
Yep. I posted both the links in the chat for anybody watching us live. But otherwise, yes, Instagram.com, Justad Glass, and JUSTAD
Yeah.
And then the last question, which has nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far, but it's something we ask all of our guests. You are sitting down and having lunch, and this can be anyone in the world, but alive or dead. Who is sitting on the opposite side of that table from you?
My initial thought is my grandpa. Like he passed away 10 years ago, and he was a big influence. He's a teacher. He was an art teacher, and I have had. His name was Jenn Justad, and he taught at Anthony Middle School. He taught art, and I have had about 4 different people the past 4 years come up to me and say, "Justad, I know that name. Did you have a family member that taught art?" And I'm like, "Yeah, so many years ago. I mean, I don't remember my middle school teachers, and the fact that these people remember my grandpa as their art teacher, to be able to tell him that like he was their favorite, and it usually was accompanied with a, oh, art wasn't my favorite subject, but he was so great. Yeah, I'd like to just be able to tell him that.
That's so awesome. What a great answer.
That's easily in my top 5 favorite answers.
Oh.
Thank you.
And then, really quick, will you tell us about your shirt and your kitten, and maybe how anybody could support this cause if possible?
Yeah, so I foster neonatal kittens with Bitty Kitty Brigade. We're out of the Twin Cities metro area, and so by neonatal I mean that mom is not around, mom can't take care of them for whatever reason. So we scoop up these kittens that don't have the support, and we take them in from hours old to 6 weeks old. And I've been doing that with my husband for 3 years now, and we've had 41 kittens through our house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an awesome life.
It's pretty great. Like we don't have any resident cats. Like we just get them at this really cute, adorable age, and then they go home, and then we get more adorable cute kittens. We usually have like between January and May, actually, when I'm really busy. There are not as many intakes because it's cold. But when kitten
Yeah.
season hits, it hits hard, and we just get tons of kittens. So yeah, they're awesome. And the kitten I've got right now is Burger Dive. She's our last one from our current litter. So
Oh, she went for the mic.
she's still up for adoption. Yeah, she's still up for adoption.
She seems just so lively and oh god,
My
all right, I'm
heart.
falling in love.
Yeah.
You should look at these people. Say
I'm
hi.
gonna drive down there and get her. So bittykittybrigade.org is the organization if you want to check them out and support this really awesome work that Jenn does.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for the plug. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we believe in the art you do and this kitten work you do. And that's all of it's really great. So we
Thank
had
you.
to.
Thank
We
you.
must.
Well, thank you so much for having me too. This is so lovely.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. We've had a great time. This has been
Seriously.
awesome. We laughed a lot.
Well, as we close this episode out, we do want to thank everybody for tuning in today. You can find behind the scenes content and more at our Patreon. Just search for The Mod Rom on Patreon, or you can visit our website, themodrom.com, for past episodes. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for supporting us, and have a great day. Bye, everybody.